Today's lesson reminds me of that Bible verse that says, "The love of money is the root of all evil." Now, if you're wondering why the Bible says that, then you have to look no further than Judas to understand how low a person can go when they love money more than they do people. But in Judas' case, not only did he fail to love people, but more importantly, Judas failed to love Jesus. Now, somebody once said that money is a great tool, but it makes for a very bad God. What I think they meant is that money, well, it has its place. With money, we can do a lot of good in this world. Truth be told, it's much easier to take the gospel into the world when you have the money to buy Bibles, or you have enough money to send out evangelists and missionaries, or enough money to raise up a church in your neighborhood so that you can share Jesus, well, with your neighbors. You can do a lot of good with money. But when money becomes your God, you become its slave. And when that happens, you fall into the sin of idolatry. Here's what we know. Behind every idol is Satan himself. And make no mistake, Satan's mission is to not lead you to God, but to enlist you in his rebellion against God. And that is exactly what Judas did. He rebelled against his master, so much so, he betrays Jesus, knowing full well that Jesus' enemies want to kill him. But I believe there's more to Judas' motives than 30 pieces of silver. Just imagine how much wealth there could be if Jesus would take his rightful place as the Messiah and conquer the Romans. But why stop at the Romans? Why not conquer the world? And just imagine the financial reward Judas would receive because he was the one who gave Jesus, well, that push he needed. Oh, the wealth indeed. Now compare Judas to the disciples who had every intention to stand with Jesus. There was no way they were going to betray Jesus by abandoning him in his hour of need. And yes, abandoning a loved one in their time of need is a betrayal, something they swore they would never do. They were so determined to stand by Jesus that Peter hauls out a sword and attempts to cut, a man's head off. Fortunately for them both, Peter missed and only cut off the man's ear. And if an offense that could have resulted in a death sentence, as attempted murder carried the penalty of death. Judas betrays Jesus for the love of money, and the disciples betrayed Jesus for a love for their lives. And in the end, the only one who stood faithful was Jesus, who, unlike the disciples, would never betray his Father or abandon his mission to seek and save the world. Again, that was our nugget for today. Have a look at your lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.